Hey everybody, I hope you're having a great Saturday. I haven't done a video blog update in about a month, so I thought I would try it for this update. Uh, Anyways, I'm about to get ready to go to my Saturday Spanish class, and I just want to drop by and give you an update on what's been going on here in Honduras over the past week. As you can tell by the blog post name, this week has been a week of flexibility and patience. For at least 2 days this week, the school at Destino did not have any electricity, and then throughout the week, the two buses, they have a total of three buses, but one has been in the shop since I've been here, and so they've only had two working school buses for nearly 300 kids. Um, so this week, at least one of them has had trouble, and one day both had some trouble, and so there was a couple of days this week where we had to only use one bus. But as of yesterday afternoon, both buses were working, so that is definitely a praise. And so, um, but it's just been a very, very difficult week for Rhonda, who she's now visiting Georgia and the United States for about a week, and so she should be back here within the next few days. By the middle part of next week, she should be back. But it's just been a difficult week for her and for Carlos, and then just for us, the other teachers at the school, and so. But it's been a great week, but just a week of just being flexible and patient, and that's one thing that God is definitely teaching me here is just um, to not really have your set ways, but to be flexible and to be patient. And so that's something He's definitely teaching me, especially this week. But um, just as a recap from the past uh, week or so, or what today is, it marks 7 weeks exactly since I first got here to Honduras, and so it does not seem like it's been 7 weeks, but it's it's been a great 7 weeks, but it's gone by pretty fast, and so I'm looking forward to the next several weeks ahead. Um, as I said, we had just issues with the bus and the electricity and water, but it still has been a great week. Yesterday, my seventh and eighth graders, I have a class of seventh and eighth graders, and they had their first English quiz. They had their first spelling quiz rather, and vocab test, and they did fairly well. So I was very pleased with how they did. So that was their first graded test that they had. Up until now, we've just been reviewing what some of them have learned before, because some of the class, mostly the eighth graders and some of the seventh graders, have been at Destino for at least a year, and then some of the seventh graders have not been at Destino, and so with all of the seventh graders, I've been reviewing with them and trying to get them caught back up, and so that's what we're going to be working on. Myself and some other teachers are going to be trying to work on getting the seventh graders back up to the level of English that the eighth graders are, and so. But they had their first graded assignment and first test on yesterday, and so they did really well. So I just keep praying for them and for myself and the other teachers that will be helping them, that we can get them all on the same page as far as their English. It's going to be quite a challenge because, as I said, you've got the majority of the class who are a pretty decent level of English. They're still behind, considering that there are around 8th grade, but they are much better as far as their English goes than about five of the students in the class. And so just pray that we can that God would just give us wisdom and discernment of how to teach them both at the same time, but get those five that are behind, how we can get those five students caught up as far as their English goes. We're thankful that we have Monday off. Monday is one of the holidays here in Honduras, so we will not have any school on Monday, so I'm looking forward to a nice long weekend of rest and just getting to be around the town and walk around and just get some rest, and so I'm looking forward to that. But also want to mention, if you want to send me mail, I got a letter today from Carmen, and so I went and checked the mail this morning and noticed I had a letter from her. And so we've been writing each other back and forth during my time here. And so if you want to send me a letter or any kind of mail, if you go to the top of my blog, you'll see a page that says My Contact Info. If you click on that, and you'll see different ways that you can contact me. You can send me an email or write me a letter or a card, or send me a care package if you want to. There's also information on how to do that as well. And so I would just encourage you to go check that out, because I would love to hear from you. It's always good to hear, to get emails from people back home, and also to get actual letters in the mail or cards in the mail. It's just a great way to encourage me. So if you don't mind doing that, I would love that. And so again, just click on the My Contact Info page at the top of my blog, and you'll see the information there. Anyways, just want to close with some prayer requests. As I mentioned, the bus problems, and then with the electricity, the power company is, we believe the power company is the one that turned it off, because Destino for a while has been in negotiations with the power company and with the government to try and get where they do not have to pay their electricity bills, because they are a non-profit organization, and they discovered that they weren't supposed to be paying their electricity bill, since they are a non-profit organization. And so they've been in negotiations and through a process with the government trying to get that worked out. And they were told, to not be paying their bills for now until this is worked out, but the government still occasionally shuts the power off, since they are behind in their payments. And so it's just the reality of the way things are here, unfortunately. So if you would just be in prayer for Destino and that process, that will get worked out soon, and that God will just work in the lives of those that make the decisions, and that He would just reveal Himself to those people, and that they would have compassion on Destino, and not have any sort of anger or any sort of malice towards Destino, and turn the power off like they likely did this week. And again, with the buses, please pray that those keep healthy and running. And as I said, it can be quite a challenge to get nearly 300 students to and from school, and when at least one of the two running buses does not work, it can be a bit of a hassle, but we're hanging in there, and we're being flexible with the way things happen. But just pray that those buses will continue to keep working, and everything at Destino will keep working smoothly. Well, it is October 5th, and we still have no container at Destino. It is still at the port in Honduras, and because of the corrupt nature of many of the officials here in the country, we still do not have the container. They've just had it thrown up so many thrown up so many different hurdles for Rhonda and Carlos to have to jump over, and it's just a lot of paperwork that they come up with, and just different laws that they seem to create on the spot, that makes Destino have to pay more money and get more papers signed and get some more forms signed, and so that's why we still do not have the container. We had thought that maybe we would have gotten it by this past week, by maybe Thursday or Friday of this past week, but I talked with Carlos yesterday, and we just had to kind of laugh about it, and he said maybe, and he said, because we thought yesterday it would be here, but he said not today, and he said maybe next week. And so we just had to laugh about it and said, well, maybe by the end of this year, or maybe next year. And so I'm learning that maybe is a big word that you have to use here, because we honestly have no idea when they will let us get the container out of the port. And so as soon as we do get the container, I will be sure to let you know. But again, like I said before, I want to thank you all so much who gave items to Destino, and so the item should be just sitting there in the container, and so we are just patiently but anxiously awaiting the arrival of the container. And so just pray that it does get here soon, because we are, as I said, it has lots of supplies for the school, and the ministry as a whole. But as far as school supplies, we were just having to kind of make do with what we can find and just buy enough for now. But a lot of the school supplies is expensive here, and so that's why we have it donated from the United States. And so I just pray that it gets here soon so we can uh, get the students their pencils and their pencil sharpeners, their crayons, and notebook paper and their notebooks. Because my class, my 7th and 8th graders, they don't have any notebooks because, as I said, they're expensive here, and so um, I haven't gotten any for them yet. I could try to go get some, but I thought the container would be here by now. So for my class, we're just kind of having to make do with what we have now. I just go get them pieces of paper to use to write on for now, and so we're just learning to deal with what we have for right now. But pray that that container does get here soon. Um, just continue to pray for the finances of Destino. They really are struggling right now as far as when they had to buy all the school uniforms recently, and so I just be praying for them. They owe more money on the well that was fixed recently or replaced. They got the new water well at Destino, and so they still owe money on the well. And so just be praying for Rhonda and Carlos with this financial situation. And if God lays it on your heart, you can visit their website at destinodelrieno.org, and you can see the link there to make a payment if God lays that on your heart. So anyways, I just want to thank you so much for your continued prayers and support. As each day goes by, it's more rewarding, but it does get harder and harder and more of a challenge each day. But I know that by God's grace and your love and support that I will continue strongly. And so I just want to thank you so much for your prayers and support, and I'm looking forward to continuing to sharing what's going on here and to let you see what God's doing here. And He is doing an amazing work here, and I'm excited and privileged and honored, and it just doesn't seem real that God has allowed me to be a part of it. So I'm looking forward to sharing that with you as we go throughout these 10 months. And so anyways, hope to hear from you soon. Love you guys.